what do you think of Matt Crouch incident, first of all, and then who do you think might stand up if he has to miss a week?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Matty was going at the ball, so we'll leave that for the match review panel. We can't really do anything about it, so obviously hopefully that he gets off, but that'll get sorted out the next couple of days.
There are a few blokes in the sample who played well. Who do you think could step in if he does go out?
Yeah, it was a really positive week for our sample side. They played as a team and knocked off the last year's premiers in West. So it was a great game. The defence stood up there and a couple of midfielders played really well as well. We got Cam Ellis Yeoman, Harrison Wigg, guys that can come in. Jared Lyons didn't play on the weekend, so any of those guys could come in and play a role for us. We're really confident in the depth we've got in the midfield.
Just on Matt, he's become a good player, hasn't he, this pre-season? He's taken the next step forward.
Yeah, Matty's worked really hard along with a lot of other guys. He saw an opportunity in there and has worked his butt off. And when you work hard, you get the reward. So it's great to see him getting the footy and playing a role for the team. And that's all we want from any young guy to come in and play a role for the team. So Matty's doing that at the moment, which is great.
How did you rate the performance on Saturday night from the Crows' perspective?
Yeah, it was a really exciting game and a great game to be involved in. I think. It was really disappointing that we lost, but we see a lot of positive out of the game as well. It was a really frenetic game and really high-paced, and we'll look at it today. We've got our review coming up, but there was some really positive signs about the way we moved the ball and at times the way we stood up as well. Obviously, in critical moments, we probably got done, which was disappointing. But it was a really positive first week for us, I thought.
Conceding the score, was that an issue in the end? Because you've been so good at that, keeping the opposition down in the
Yeah. I think it was just the way that particular game was played, and you saw on the weekend a lot of the games were really high scoring. So whether that's a byproduct of the new rules or whether it was just that game, I'm not sure. We'll see in the next few weeks, but. It was a really exciting game to be involved in, and I suppose if we look at it from our team defence, we do want to keep sides to a lower score, but that's something we'll look through the next couple of hours and see how we can do that.
You've obviously got the potent forward line as well. Are you happy to get into that kind of almost shootout style of game?
Oh, look, ideally it's probably not the way we want to play. We want to be a team that is quick on offence and then can slow a team down on defence, and it's probably an area that we weren't able to do in the second half on the weekend. I thought the first half we were really good, but we'll look at that and try and tie that up.
As a key back, you get to sit back and sort of watch the ball coming at you. What could you see that might have gone wrong that sort of let them run over you in the fourth quarter?
Oh, I think it was just, we're losing critical contests. There were a couple in the last quarter where, Goldstein outmarked either myself or Sauce, or just little moments like that allow them to then keep their ball movement going. So we gave away a few free kicks as well, which probably wasn't ideal, but there was nothing too major. It was more just little moments in the game that we can probably work on and get better at, and there'll be plenty of those this week as well, which is exciting for us.
Just on there, you mentioned the free kicks. There was a few, the Crouch incident. There was Tomo encroaching Brody Smith on Lindsay Thomas. So you gave away a few goals. Will that be a focus and something you've got to eradicate from your game, just get a bit more discipline with that sort of stuff?
I think the build-up to round one, and how close the game was, it was probably just a bit of a byproduct of the moment, and guys were really in the moment and probably just stepped over that line a bit, and that can be that fine line whether you give away a free kick or whether you're showing physicality. So that's something we'll probably discuss, but it's not really a trend or an issue, probably just a couple of moments where it didn't go our way. So and there'll be plenty of those this week, so we've got to find that fine line in a big game in the showdown. And come out and be ready to go, but not cross that line. So there's always going to be moments in every game where that happens. So we'll discuss that today.
It is important though, isn't it? Because in a close game, they do make a difference.
All moments are important, and when you give a side a couple of goals from a couple of silly free kicks, it does hurt you, especially in a close game like that. So we're not too worried about it though. There are a couple of one-off incidents, so it's not really a trend.
How do you stop it though happening in it? Because that emotion will clearly be a part of the showdown.
I think it's just about every individual recognising the moment and controlling your own emotion, and being really hard at the ball but not doing anything undisciplined. every individual in the team can control that, and if it's a young guy or if whoever it is, a leader's just got to go over to them, and settle them down, and keep them in the moment. So, we can certainly do that this week.
Tales, I think Tex came back in a moon boot. Are you confident that Skipper will be right to play this week?
Yeah, he's fine. Just a bit of precaution for Tex. He's probably trying to get a bit of attention out of it, knowing him. So, no, he'll be fine. He'll be right to go this week, and he'll play and play well as he always does.
And they had that lead in the third quarter, and then the Roos got on a bit of a run and they pulled some goals on quickly. What do you need to do differently in that kind of moment when the flow's going against you?
Yeah, there's probably a couple of things that we'll look at today where we could have, first of all, not give away a couple of those free kicks which resulted in those goals, and probably just being able to get the ball in our hands. They scored a couple of goals from stoppages at the time, and we never really actually got the ball back. So, winning the ball ourselves and then just controlling the game from there is probably an area that we can work on. And
the showdown, obviously, a huge contest. You'd like to start at least 1-1, not 0-2. What are expectations and what do you expect from Port?
Yeah, we're not worried about what Port's doing. We're just going to control what we can. We're not too worried about the 0-1. We just got to go out and play the way we play, and the result will take care of itself. So, we're not looking that far ahead. We'll review the North game today, and have a really good main session, and from there, go into the showdown prepared and ready to go. And what showdowns are going to be like. They're always physical. They're always close and tough contests. So, we expect no different this week, and really looking forward to the opportunity to play again.
We have a close look at how easily St Kilda was able to score against Port, getting the ball over the back yesterday.
Yeah, I did watch that watched the second half, and they got a few goals out the back, which was from their really quick ball movements. So that's something we can look at, and all teams are trying to do that now. All teams are pressing up in defence, and there is opportunities to get out the back. So we'll certainly look at that, and try and take it into our game as well.
You might have to come up against Charlie Dixon personally. How do you prepare for coming up against a mountain like him?
Yeah, I've played on him a couple of times. He's a really good player and played well yesterday. Took a few good clunks and kicked some goals. But they've got other good forwards as well. They've got Justin Westhoff, who always plays well in showdowns. Schultz, who, when you let him go, can kick straight and kick bags as well. So it's not just about me playing on Dixon or Schultz or Westhoff or whoever. It's about our team defence, and we're pretty confident that we can cover their forward line and defend against any forward line really.
They have got, as you mentioned, quite a few tall options. Do you think you need to look at bringing in a Kyle Hardigan for an extra tall down back for you guys?
Oh, that's not for me to really comment on. It's for the coaches later on in the week, and they'll go through that when they go through selection. So they've got a few tall guys, but what you get in the air, you give up on the ground. So that's for the coaches later on in the week.
How was the coach on the weekend? He looked pretty cool and calm, even though it was a high intensity game. How was he in the rooms and then after the game?
Yeah, I was really impressed by the way Piker handled his first game. Even after the game, we were all hurting from the loss, but he was really composed and really clear about what happened and why we probably lost. So his ability to stay composed, and he's been around the game a long time with successful clubs, so that shows in his first game as coach. I was really impressed with the way he handled it, and he's a really positive guy, so we'll take that into this week. And although we lost, we've got a ripping game that we can look forward to. So, really impressed with the way Pikey approached it.
How do you find Dixon physically? You said you've stood him a few times. Is he one of the strongest blokes you come up against? Because when you watch him and stand on side of him, he's massive.
Yeah, he is massive, but there's a lot of big forwards around. So there's little ways you can get around it. I'll go through that late in the week, but probably trying to get in a wrestle might be a bit silly. So there's other ways that you can play on a big forward.
And just personally, you got the milestone obviously on the weekend. I remember a couple of years ago when you won the BNF, you made the speech about not wasting time and that kind of stuff. Does that hit home even more to you now that you realise how quickly time does pass you by?
I think that's just a reflection on what every footballer should kind of go through their career with. You don't want to waste any time, and you want to improve and be as good as you can as quickly as possible. And I know the group we've got at the moment, a lot of guys have that same view and really want to drive the club forward. So it's exciting to play 100 games for the one club, and really lucky to have been given the opportunity, and every game that you're out there is a blessing. So what better way to do it in a showdown? And of course you want to win, and of course you want to improve and have that attitude as you go through your career. And I know that's something that we're really working on with our whole group. So and most of the guys, if not all of the guys, have got that attitude. So it's an exciting time to be around the club, and let's hope we get the win this week.